We begin tonight with developing news in a tragic shooting that killed a Massachusetts police officer and an innocent bystander.
Tonight, thousands are expected at a candlelight vigil for the victims of yesterday's shocking attack in Weymouth, while the suspected attacker remains in the hospital.
20-year-old Emmanuel Lopes is expected to be arraigned as early as tomorrow on 2 counts of murder. He's being treated for a gunshot wound to the leg.
Lopes is accused of hitting Officer Michael Chesna with a rock Sunday morning, then taking the officer's gun and shooting him to death. Police say Lopes then exchanged gunfire with other officers and fired a bullet into the home of 77-year-old woman, killing her. She was identified today as Vera Adams.
Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado joins us now live from the Weymouth Police Department, where a memorial has been growing all day in honor of the 3rd New England officer killed in the line of duty already this year. Steph?
That memorial has just continued to grow here for fallen officer Michael Chesna. The community of Weymouth mourning his loss and that of 77-year-old Vera Adams, both allegedly murdered by a young man with Chesna's own gun.
Breaks our hearts. The tributes are pouring in for fallen officer Michael Chesna. Flowers, flags, and notes of thanks left outside the Weymouth Police Department.
Brings tears to my eyes when I think about this. It's not right. It's not fair.
Laura Randall stopping by with her young children to pay their respects.
This type of incident is terrible. We feel for the family, we feel for the children, for everybody that's involved. And, I want to show my children that this is not something that we're going to tolerate.
Police say Officer Chesna was shot by this man, 20-year-old Emmanuel Lopes, with Chesna's own service weapon. It all started with a car crash Sunday morning. Lopes was the driver and allegedly fled the scene. Police say Officer Chesna caught up with him throwing a rock at a house. When he exited his cruiser, police say Lopes threw a rock at Chesna's head, knocking him over, then picked up Chesna's gun and shot him repeatedly. Another officer shot Lopes in the leg, but he managed to run off, allegedly firing 3 shots into this porch window at the home of Vera Adams. She was hit and killed. People left flowers outside her home on Monday. Monday afternoon, police took off on motorcycles from the police department to escort Officer Chesna's body from the medical examiner's office to a funeral home. Chesna was an Army veteran with 6 years on the force in Weymouth. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children.
These police officers put that uniform on every day, and they don't know what they're walking into. They could walk into anything, and this is how it could end up.
And that suspect, Emmanuel Lopes, is still in the hospital tonight. We'll have more on what we know about him and the charges he's facing coming up new at 6. Live in Weymouth, I'm Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.
First at 6, people in Weymouth, Massachusetts are dealing with shock and sadness over the deaths of a police officer and an elderly woman.
And this afternoon, hundreds line the streets to pay tribute to Officer Michael Chesna. Police say the suspect shot and killed Chesna with his own service weapon. The gunfire also killed an elderly woman in her own home. We have team coverage for you tonight. Eyewitness News reporter Sheena Lasciuto is standing by.
But first, Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado joins us live from Weymouth. Steph?
Tonight, a stream of people keep coming by the Weymouth Police Department to leave flowers for Officer Michael Chesna. He and 77-year-old Vera Adams both killed on Sunday.
Police officers making their way to escort Officer Michael Chesna from the medical examiner. The 6-year veteran of the Weymouth police force gunned down with his own weapon, allegedly by this man, 20-year-old Emmanuel Lopes. Lopes is accused of stealing the gun after knocking out Officer Chesna with a rock on Sunday, then shooting him. He's also accused of shooting through this window into a porch, killing 77-year-old Vera Adams.
It brings tears to my eyes when I think about this. It's not right. It's not fair. And breaks our hearts.
Tributes pouring in for both victims on Monday. Flowers left outside Adams' home. Nicole Sincata writing Chesna in blue ribbon in front of the PD.
Overwhelming to think that someone was almost off their shift and now they're gone. Brutally.
Emmanuel Lopes remains in the hospital tonight with a gunshot wound. He's expected to be arraigned on double murder charges on Tuesday. We looked into his criminal past. Lopes was arrested last fall for throwing a rock into someone's window. That's exactly what police say he was doing on Sunday when Officer Chesna confronted him.
And Officer Chesna was also a military veteran. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children. Live in Weymouth, I'm Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.